Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? Blue blessings. Do you know that I was here talking the whole time and didn't realize that I was not live, but I was ready to stream. Man, that's embarrassing. I was here talking my ASS off, bro. But welcome everybody. Please do remember to smash the like button coming in. Do remember to smash the like button coming in, ladies and gentlemen. PMP calls for number 28 to leave with some level of dignity, you know, and I echo that same call. Wow. Something is going on with my internet. I need to verify whether I'm live or not, because I'm not seeing on my phone where it's saying that I'm live. And I find that mighty interesting. Why is it doing that? Okay, it's saying I'm live now. Okay, we're good now. Awesome. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, the PMP calls for number 28 to leave with some level of integrity. Hashtag Andrew Holness must resign. Leprechaun big up, Blue big up, and welcome to the platform. Let's go. We have no time to waste, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, guys, come on in. I hope I could just wait on everybody to come in, but let's hear what the president of the UIC has to say on this issue. Let's hear this.
I just received an email from 18 Degrees North. This is one of the most, if not the best, investigative journalists I know of in Jamaica and conceivably in the Caribbean. So hats off to them for the excellent work they're doing. Today I want to just read to you what they're saying in this email and to see if we could put some context around it. It says here the title, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness, not charged over false asset declaration allegations, but questions remain about illicit enrichment. And this is by Zara Burton. Many of you might know her. And it's dated September 18, which is today. It says Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness has avoided prosecution over what the Integrity Commission's Director of Investigation, DI, called false statements in his asset declarations. However, the question of illicit enrichment remains. In a ruling released Tuesday by the Parliament, the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution, Keisha Prince Kamika, declined to charge PM Holness on the basis that it would be a challenge to establish that I just received
Alright, so that was a short clip from I thought it was longer than that, you know. From Mr. Patterson of the UIC. Let's get to this. Let's find out what money laundering is, ladies and gentlemen.
Money laundering is a process of disguising the proceeds of illegal activity as legitimate funds. It is a serious crime that can be difficult to detect, but there are certain red flags that financial institutions can look for to identify potential money laundering activity. In this video, we'll explore some of the common red flags for detecting money laundering. One common red flag for detecting money laundering is unusual transaction patterns. This can include a high volume of transactions with no apparent business purpose, transactions that are below or above the usual thresholds, and transactions that involve unusual parties or jurisdictions. These patterns may be an indicator of money being moved around to disguise its origin. Another red flag is transactions involving high-risk jurisdictions. Certain countries are known to have a higher risk of money laundering, and transactions with these countries should be subject to an increased scrutiny. Financial institutions may also want to monitor transactions involving countries with weak or non-existent anti-money laundering laws. Large cash transactions can also be a red flag for potential money laundering activity. Financial institutions may want to monitor transactions that involve large amounts of cash, as well as transactions that involve multiple small cash deposits that add up to a large amount. Another common red flag is transactions involving politically exposed persons. These are individuals who hold prominent public positions or have close connections to those who do.
Listen.
Transactions involving PEPs may be at higher risk of money laundering, as they may be used to hide corrupt payments.
Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. Like and share the video. Let's go.
Financial institutions may want to monitor transactions that involve large amounts of cash, as well as transactions that involve multiple small cash deposits that add up to a large amount. Another common red flag is transactions involving politically exposed persons. These are individuals who hold prominent public positions or have close connections to those who do. Transactions involving PEPs may be at higher risk of money laundering, as they may be used to hide corrupt payments or other illegal activities. These are just a few examples of the common red flags for detecting money laundering. Financial institutions should be aware of these red flags and other indicators of suspicious activity, and should have robust anti-money laundering controls in place to monitor and report on these activities. By staying vigilant and identifying potential money laundering activity, financial institutions can help prevent the spread of financial crime and protect both themselves and their customers. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that was just a quick little video on what we should look out for as red flags. Sorry, my bad. Ooh, wait. Wait a minute. Yeah. What we should look out for as red flags to identify money laundering, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? You notice what they said about politically, let me go back to it. PEP, they call it PEP. Politically exposed persons. Right? Politically exposed persons. I'm going to play this video again. Because I think this is important for all well-thinking Jamaicans to really understand what the hell is going on and why the report by the Integrity Commission was so important and is damning to the reputation of the Prime Minister. Listen to what money laundering, how you identify money laundering. And then when you read the report, you see why the Integrity Commission was not wasting resources. They had legit, the Prime Minister nationwide would like to convince us, and Juliet Cuthbert would like to convince well-thinking Jamaicans that this was a waste of time and resources to investigate the Prime Minister. When in all accounts, the red flags are legit and credible red flags. Listen to this again.
Money laundering is a process of disguising the proceeds of illegal activity as legitimate funds. It is a serious crime that can be difficult to detect, but there are certain red flags that financial institutions can look for to identify potential money laundering activity. In this video, we'll explore some of the common red flags for detecting money laundering. One common red flag for detecting money laundering is unusual transaction patterns. This can include a high volume of transactions with no apparent business purpose, transactions that are below or above the usual thresholds, and transactions that involve unusual parties or jurisdictions. These patterns may be an indicator of money being moved around to disguise its origin. Another red flag is transactions involving high-risk jurisdictions. Certain countries are known to have a higher risk of money laundering, and transactions with these countries should be subject to an increased scrutiny. Financial institutions may also want to monitor transactions.
The country, St. Vincent. We need to look into St. Vincent. Why did they move ADMAT to St. Vincent? You heard what you said about certain countries are more high risk for money laundering. Listen, guys, pay attention. Pay attention.
Transactions involving countries with weak or non-existent anti-money laundering laws. Large cash transactions can also be a red flag for potential money laundering activity. Financial institutions may want to monitor transactions that involve large amounts of cash, as well as transactions that involve multiple small cash deposits that add up to a large amount. Another common red flag is transactions involving politically exposed persons. These are individuals who hold prominent public positions or have close connections to those who do. Transactions involving PEPs may be at higher risk of money laundering, as they may be used to hide corrupt payments or other illegal activities. These are just a few examples of the common red flags for detecting money laundering. Financial institutions should be aware of these red flags and other indicators of suspicious activity, and should have robust anti-money laundering controls in place to monitor and report on these activities. By staying vigilant and identifying potential money laundering activity, financial institutions can help prevent the spread of financial crime and protect both themselves and their customers. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Again, thank you. I want to know what y'all think about that. I hope that opens somebody's eyes to why, yes, what can go so, right? Having somebody that's your business partner, Mr. Andrew Onis, being a chairman in two areas that is a part of your own portfolio in the office of Prime Minister. Red flags all around. Do you understand what I'm saying? Red flags all around. So nobody is. Andrew Onis is not a victim, ladies and gentlemen, like Nationwide and Judith Cuthbert and others you see on the internet want to perceive him to be. Based on what we just saw and heard from this video, which will be in the description when this video is posted separately, this is going to be the money laundering video. What is money laundering? All right? Yeah, that's what this is going to be. So I really want to hear from all well-thinking Jamaicans in the live that's watching what they think of this revelation about money laundering, and then when you look at the reports and you balance it out, my understanding is that the Integrity Commission did an excellent job, and all the recommendations and the conclusions that they came to were valid. The only thing I don't understand is why the individual did not, in the Integrity Commission, did not recommend for the Prime Minister to be charged. There's allegations that this person is a supporter of the JLP. If that is true, that would make sense. But that is unethical, and if that is the case, that person needs to lose their job. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Shout out to Joan Morris. Sassy 81, how you doing?
What up, baby?
Like and share and subscribe if you're not yet a part of Team Bolo. We're just gonna call it Team Bolo, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be a part of Team Bolo, subscribe. All right, that is it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this live stream. Guys, please share the live, guys. Hit the like button. Don't forget, please. It's imperative that you not forget to hit the like button. All right, and thank you in advance to all the wonderful people that remember to do so. And remember, it's free, guys. You're not charged to hit the like button, It's absolutely free. So I think that should be more incentive for you guys to go wild where the like button is concerned. Sharing the live is also free. Share the live with 5 people. Share the live with 10 people. Why not? We're doing good content over here. I know they say you should not toot your own horn, but we have to call a spade a spade.
The Integrity Commission's report.
We have to call a spade a spade. Now, we're going to go to the press conference of the PMP. Yeah. And did I forget to play anything? Did I? I don't think I did, No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I think we're on schedule. I think we're on point. All right, so let's get into that breakdown. Philly are the vibes. You say Bolo Nation? Boy, that one they sound kind of tough still, but not lie. But it sound kind of too, what would I say now? It sound too Gaza. So, I don't really want to be seen as no done. So just say Team Bolo. I think that's modest, and I like modest. I don't like the rah-rah. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, man, me don't want to be perceived as not done or not teacher. Them a lock up teacher right now and the teacher them a run me and the teacher they not get paid. So me don't want to put myself in that category. They say, yeah. But let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, yes, here we go.
The Integrity Commission's report that was tabled this Tuesday in the House of Representatives. In the House of Representatives, it's in fact two reports. There's an investigation report, which is a lengthy document, 171 pages long, and that has a report that was produced by the Director of Investigations of the Integrity Commission. And there's also a special report, which is a short one-page document coming from the commissioners themselves. And that latter report calls upon Parliament to support the recommendations of the Director of Investigations in the investigation report that matters arising from the report be referred to the Financial Investigations Division, the FID. The Integrity Commission's report makes the important point that as Prime Minister and Head of Government, Mr. Andrew Holness has a higher duty to the public to ensure that the laws of Jamaica are maintained and that he acts in keeping with the standards of principled behavior required of his very high office. I'm sad to say, and I take no glee in saying this, that Mr. Holness has failed in this solemn duty to the Jamaican people. He has known since May 2023 that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment, which is a corruption offense created by Section 14(5) of the Corruption Prevention Act. Yes, Mr. Holness is one of the illicit 6, now the illicit 8, and he has known this for well over a year. Yet Mr. Holness misled the country by withholding the truth about this investigation in statements that he made both in and outside Parliament over this period, even telling Jamaica that he had asked far and wide, and none of his MPs were under investigation for illicit enrichment. This extended withholding of the truth, this fundamentally dishonest deception of the people of Jamaica obliterates any trust and confidence in the Prime Minister. How can we believe anything he says in light of the extended failure to tell us the truth that he was indeed under investigation for a serious criminal offense? This unprecedented situation is fundamentally incompatible with his continuing to hold office as Prime Minister. The Integrity Commission's report contains several serious findings which reinforce the need for Mr. Holness to go now. I will mention 3 of these. Firstly, there is the purchase of an investment for $94,000 using, as part of the money that was put up to buy this investment, $32,000 from a registered charity of which Mr. Holness is a director, called the Positive Jamaica Foundation, commingled with resources from his personal company, Imperium, including $30,000 from an account that he had with SSL. Yes, SSL. Mr. Holness reported this investment for several years as 100% belonging to his company, Imperium, when the charity's money had been used to acquire it, as well as his own. Indeed, a third of the money came from the charity. One can only wonder how local and international donors to that charity feel about its resources being used to enrich Mr. Holness personally. Secondly, the filing of nil returns by Mr. Holness's personal companies, nil tax returns, indicating that they had no taxable income or expenses when the companies did in fact have substantial income and expenses, is a matter which the Integrity Commission suggests would be a significant violation under Jamaica's tax laws and should be referred to the Commissioner General of Tax Administration Jamaica for action. Indeed, the payments between Mr. Holness's personal companies over the review period exceeded $400 million. Then there's the creation of a situation of conflict of interest by Mr. Holness appointing his business partner, and co-investor in his personal real estate company, Mr. Norman Brown, to be chairman of two important public bodies, the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, and the Housing Association of Jamaica, HAJ, both of which fall under Mr. Holness's portfolio responsibility as minister, and both of which operate in the real estate sector. Mr. Holness has placed Jamaica, our beloved country and our cherished democracy, in a dangerous and untenable situation. His integrity issues cannot be resolved, partly because of the baffling complexity of his personal financial affairs. He operated no less than 28 bank accounts, 28. His 3 personal companies were involved in a very high volume of transactions, averaging over 4 per banking day during the period of review. Including many substantial intercompany payments, and including over $4.5 million of so-called cardless cash deposits made over a 3-month period into his bank account by depositors whose identity remains unknown to the Commission. And partly, the matter is unresolved because Mr. Holness's own refusal to provide information about aspects of his affairs, which was requested by the Integrity Commission for the purposes of their investigation. The Prime Minister therefore remains the subject of an incomplete investigation for illicit enrichment, as the Integrity Commission has been unable to conclude its investigation, in part because of Mr. Holness refusing to provide them with critical information that they need to do so.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Philly Yardy was saying that Hillary Clinton and Bill Gates make tons of money from their foundation, right? And I'm saying that's facts. No, that's why I said we should look into Nigel Clark's non-profit organizations, the charities, the foundations. Those need to be looked into, because remember, Nigel Clark messed up and said that meaning him and Andrew Holness was at a press conference, I believe. It was a press conference, right? And there was, he was saying or a meeting of some sort. I need to get that clip. He was saying our foundation. But then he cleared it up. And basically retracted the statement, saying that it was a mistake. Right? He said it was a mistake. But given what is happening now, I have to go back to that. I really believe that they should investigate those non-profit organizations, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think.
The Integrity Commission has recommended that the case be referred to the Financial Investigations Division, the FID, which specializes in financial crimes, including money laundering, and with which the Integrity Commission has an active Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, for mutual cooperation, which is provided for in Section 7, Subsection 12 of the Integrity Commission Act, and also by an equivalent provision in the FID Act as well. This is recommended so that further investigation can get to the bottom of his affairs. And the Integrity Commission has also made it clear that Mr. Holness's statutory declarations cannot and will not be certified as required by law until the investigations have been concluded. So, Jamaica has a Prime Minister who remains under investigation for the serious corruption offense of illicit enrichment, and whose annual statutory declarations for 2021 onwards still cannot be certified by the country's Integrity Commission as required by law. This is a serious blot on the country's image, both locally and internationally. It is untenable for our Prime Minister not to be in good standing with the country's Integrity Commission. We cannot go on like this. The Prime Minister must step aside now or call fresh elections so that the people have the chance to elect a new government that can take our country out of this mess. Finally, it is important to dispel the deliberate falsehood that is being perpetrated in some circles of the Integrity Commission being motivated by political bias. While the developmental work on the legislation that created the Integrity Commission was done prior to 2016, the Integrity Commission Act was reviewed and then passed into law by this JLP government. The commissioners of the Integrity...
Very important. It was passed into law by this government. Why is Andrew One's statements pushing towards undermining the Integrity Commission when they are the ones that passed? Guys, you see this PR stunt and all of this thing, and his explanation, how it seems to undermine and try to point the finger at the Integrity Commission that somehow they were, you know, there was some politically motivated reason why they were investigating him, and you know, everything. He just wants us people to believe that everything is on the up and up, and this is a frivolous investigation that is going on, and it holds no merit, when that could be further from the case. When you actually look at the document and everything and the transactions that they are waiving to be holy, I mean, over 100,000 US dollars in an account overseas, city hall. In that amount is US dollars, over 100,000 US dollars. Right? And then the source of funds for a lot of the transactions are questionable. Those are red flags. Mr. Andrew Ones want well-thinking Jamaicans to believe that somehow is one mistake from a bank. But then the bank is telling you, we have all the documentation. We went under his orders. There's letters that he signed on. He was well aware, and now he's saying he's not a... Yo, listen, man. This whole thing is crazy, bro. Like and share the video.
Integrity Commission were appointed under this...
I don't believe not when we say in this video. This is entertainment purposes, and it's all allegedly.
LP government. And Mr. Holness himself had an important role in their appointment. The staff of the Integrity Commission were all employed under this JLP government. The record shows
they were all employed by the JLP. So why is he now trying to undermine the same people that he employed? Why? The point of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Ones lied to the Jamaican public. He 100% lied to us that he was not aware of this investigation or anybody being investigated in his party.
The question is still going to be asked. Are there members of my party who have been written to for this crime of illicit enrichment? My straight answer is that I have asked as far and as wide. I have gotten that response from everyone. But as far as I have been told, no, people have been written to, as the Integrity Commission does almost daily. But I have not heard of anyone in my political party being written to for this matter of illicit enrichment. The question is still going to be asked.
That statement was made August 17, 2023. The Integrity Commission has had meetings with this man in his office, ladies and gentlemen, in his office. Yo, that is right there is where this is just.
What if I told you that
we cannot accept anything but a resignation at this point. There's no trust. No trust. The trust has been eroded. You understand what I'm saying? The trust has been eroded completely. Give me a second. I'm trying to find this clip because this young lady, she said it best. She said it best on all angles. She said it best. Where is that? It was yesterday, no? Let me just play this.
That the
Wagwan Ivan, bless up.
Commission has taken
like and share, guys. Like and share. How the lights them look?
Representatives from both political parties. This scurrilous suggestion that the Integrity Commission is motivated by political bias must therefore be rejected for the malignant mischief that it is.
Yes.
The Integrity Commission is a critical institution in the governance of our country. A country which is seriously afflicted by the scourge of corruption at the highest levels. The Integrity Commission must be nurtured and supported so that it can do its anti-corruption work without fear or favor. The continuing attempts to discredit, weaken, undermine, or intimidate the Integrity Commission, its commissioners and staff must be condemned and resolutely resisted by all well-thinking Jamaicans.
Quite so.
Thank you. I just want to close briefly by...
For the young and not that young people, Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Saying in relation to the incident that we
61 likes, come on!
Concerning the homeless in their home.
Come on, guys. 61 likes, come on, man. Get the likes up. Get the likes up.
Condemned and resolutely resisted by all well-thinking Jamaicans. Thank you. I just want to close briefly by saying in relation to the incident that we heard about through the news last night concerning the homeless in their home, that we absolutely abhor any such conduct. We call upon the security forces, law enforcement, to investigate it thoroughly, and if there are any perpetrators, to bring them to justice. And I want to extend my personal sympathies to Mr. and Mrs. Holness and their family. Thank you. I'll now ask Senator Donna Scott-Matt.
Thank you. And I associate myself with the comments made in relation to the report of what took place last night at the Prime Minister's home. And greetings. Last evening I was given what is called a brief. It is not a brief. It is a thick document, very detailed in nature, clearly well written to the point, and it is the 172-page report of the Integrity Commission. As I read it, and I went through the 172 pages, some things jumped out at me. And one of the things that jumped out was that the allegations investigated and some of the findings made, could one person have caused these allegations to have surfaced? No. My mind as a lawyer practicing at the criminal bar saw that there...
Oh, and let me say this publicly. I don't wish for the homelesses or any government official or any Jamaican for that matter for any harm to come onto them because of their political stance on anything. I wish you no harm. My gripe is with your thought process. If you are not looking at this for what it is, my gripe is just with your thought process. How do you not see how damning this is? This is an embarrassment internationally, you know. And that's one of the reasons why the Prime Minister needs to resign right now. He needs to just tender immediate resignation. Especially with the need for a detailed and uninterrupted report by the outside bodies that the Integrity Commission recommended, because those outside bodies are going to need public funding to carry out this investigation, because this is a matter of the people of Jamaica. This is concerning to all well-thinking Jamaicans that we have a prime minister that these are some wild and wicked allegations that have credible reason behind them. So it's just the right thing for the prime minister to do, and we'll see if he'll do the right thing. I don't see how he cannot. I don't see how he cannot. There's no way to push this as politically a political attack. No. This is where you have to take accountability. This is the moment in time where you stand as a man and not cry like a baby. Alright? Because all I'm hearing is people crying like a baby, pretty much. Yeah.
There was elements.
Marshall Litmore, big up.
There were elements of conspiracy in this. And whilst I will not identify the potential conspirators, I will say that in the overall circumstances, the Prime Minister of Jamaica needs to remove himself from the office he now holds, so that the appropriate investigative body can go very deeply into the allegations, and that the public will be satisfied that there is no interference at the highest level. And that certainly there is no cover-up. But this calls for detailed investigation. What jumped out at me too was the way in which the investigation was conducted, where they made reference to the judge's rules, that persons who were interviewed, they were interviewed in accordance with the judge's rules. Now, let me just point out one important aspect of the judge's rules. It is a warning to the person who is being questioned. And it warns the person that you need not say anything, but anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence against you.
There were 80 people, 80 witnesses that was interviewed, you know? And Andrew Wallace went on that stage and tried to, knowing, ladies and gentlemen, that the process required the time that it took because of his lack of cooperation and timely cooperation, and mistakes that he made and gripes that he had between him and his companies and banks or companies he was associated with. You understand? But more play this audio before we continue with Mr. Listen to this.
Guys, hear this.
Andrew Holness did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a dopey thing. Nobody don't know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing ever goes on. And if you have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion, as a Jamaican, Even if I don't believe that the Barita people them said the thing right or the bond thing not right and I adequately earned my money, why would you not tell me that you knew that you were being questioned? For months.
For
and
months.
I sat down and I looked at the dates. For months we were at that point where we said nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30th, 2022 regarding the omissions in the 2021 statutory declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August, 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. I'm going to make sure I write them down because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here is the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a double thing. Nobody know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing ever goes on. And if you have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion, as a Jamaican, even if I don't believe that the Barita people them said the thing right or the bond thing not right and I adequately earned my money, why would you not tell me that you knew that you were being questioned?
Bingo! Yo, listen, man, there's no ways around it. The Prime Minister lied to the Jamaican public, and Ryan Campbell, big up. He lied to us. He had us believe that he don't nobody in his parliament that's under investigation. That, in my opinion, was a political lie, because it's an election year and their feet are under fire. Everybody is talking about this thing on social media. The vloggers were not letting up, although Nationwide did their best, in my opinion, to deflect, and other entities, G2K and other entities, to deflect and talk about a report out of the Observer that there's 5 PMP and 3 JLP. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that distraction? They did all of this allegedly to distract the people, because they knew, ladies and gentlemen, based off what the interactions between the Integrity Commission and Andrew Holness, he knew that this was coming. He knew it. So we don't want to hear the foolishness. I'm gonna play Mr. Carlo. Yeah, we want to know the other 7, because, as you know, I'm just gonna play Mr. KD Knight full thing, because he detailed it so perfectly. Guys, please like and share the video. We need to get to 175 likes right now, and if you're watching the replay, the aim is to get to 500 likes minimum, guys. We need 500 likes. All right, so everybody on the live, hit the like button.
Conduct. We call upon the security forces, law enforcement, to investigate it thoroughly, and if there are any perpetrators, to bring them to justice. And I want to extend my personal sympathies to Mr. and Mrs. Holness and their family. Thank you. I'll now ask Senator Donna Scott-Mann.
Thank you. And I associate myself with the comments made in relation to the report of what took place last night at the Prime Minister's home. And greetings. Last evening I was given what is called a brief. It is not a brief. It is a fake document, very detailed in nature, clearly well written to the point, and it is the 172-page report of the Integrity Commission. As I read it, and I went through the 172 pages, some things jumped out at me. And one of the things that jumped out was that the allegations investigated and some of the findings made, could one person have caused these allegations to have surfaced? No. My mind as a lawyer practicing at the criminal bar saw that there were elements of conspiracy in this. And whilst I will not identify the potential conspirators, I will say that in the overall circumstances, the Prime Minister of Jamaica needs to remove himself from the office he now holds so that the appropriate investigative body can go very deeply into the allegations, and that the public will be satisfied that there is no interference at the highest level, and that certainly there is no cover-up. But this calls for detailed investigation. One jumped out at me too was the way in which the investigation was conducted, where they made reference to the judge's rules, that persons who were interviewed, they were interviewed in accordance with the judge's rules. Now, let me just point out one important aspect of the judge's rules. Is there's a warning to the person who is being questioned. And it warns the person that you need not say anything, but anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence against you. And in this document, the warning was appropriate. Appropriate. What jumped out at me also, why would one need to have 28 accounts? Why? One would need to have 28 accounts if one was involved in businesses. Now, when I tried to find out who had the 28 accounts, I found out that it was the Prime Minister. You can't run a country and run private business at the same time. It's one or the other. One or the other. And it is clear that one of the reasons why the country is in the condition it is in now is that sufficient time is not being spent by the chief executive officer to run the country. These are business ventures. Business ventures. Jumped out at me also that, look, if it is that a Prime Minister is being investigated, how can he be the chief accountable officer for discipline, law and order in a country? He cannot occupy the post and find himself in this position and do that which he was elected to do efficiently. Cannot. And therefore a call for his resignation, a call is justified. It's justified. It's justified because of what this report contains, both in terms of the volume of his association with other companies and the allegations contained herein. Had this been the private sector and the private sector officer, that private sector employee would have been sent on leave, pending investigation. No private company in Jamaica would have caused someone against whom these allegations have leveled to continue in the highest position in that company. It's untenable. I expect that there will be more press conferences, leader, and I would like to have the opportunity to go through this in greater detail. And if you would be kind enough to invite me to that press conference so I could articulate on aspects of the law. But conspiracy jumps out. Money laundering using what is called layering jumps out at me. And those are serious offenses. I do not, for 1 minute, suggest guilt. I don't. But what I suggest is that the process should be allowed to take place and those who are found culpable be held accountable. There is, leader, a call for general elections too. Well, let me just say this in closing, that as far as I am concerned, I join that call. And my advice to Mr. Honus is a simple one. I made some inquiries and I'm told that he has a bag. I say to him, start packing because you are going. And if you don't believe me, speak to Mr. Golden, Bruce that is. Pack your bags, put in your clothes and your belongings because you can't stay as Prime Minister of Jamaica because the international reputation of Jamaica is important, and you have, by allowing these allegations, brought Jamaica into disrepute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Now, a lot of people, well, not a lot, just some people in my comments saying, you stop the video too much. Some of them being disrespectful and saying I chat too much. Two things. One, you guys have to understand something about YouTube. There's something called copyright, right? When you're playing somebody's video, to stay within the guidelines of YouTube, you have to speed up the video and you have to use the music. You hear the beat in the background to stay to stay away from copyright infringement. Years from now, and I've seen this happen to big YouTubers. Years from now, the entity that owns the video can say, "Oh, I did not give you permission to use the video, you know." Although you cited fair use, right? And they can flag a bunch of your videos and take away your channel, right? If they want, or try to at least. I remember Abba and Preach had a situation with another group, and they sent in their rebuttal to YouTube, and thankfully they did not lose their channel. However, there has to be some type of intermission between I can't just play out the video 10 minutes. No, there has to be a stoppage and to make that point. So I'm saying to the individuals that have a problem with that, there are other channels you can go and take your watch time there. If you don't like my style, yeah, you have options. And the other thing I will say is that the link to the videos that I'm playing is in the description. So if you want to watch the video without my reaction to it and me stopping it when I choose to, you have that option as well. Good? So please, no more complaining in my comment section. I've made some adjustments, but I will not be responding kindly to any more comments of that type because of what I just explained. And I hope this message gets to each and every one of you that were complaining about somebody talking too much. What do you think I come on YouTube for? And I see some people drop off. I guess those were the people. What do you think I come on YouTube for? To not share. This is called Bolo V&R. It's about my views, my reactions, and my responses to the things that are being said. Alright? So let's just get that categorically clear. Yeah, me chat, we can chat long. That's why I have a page. If you cannot talk and dialogue, and you just want to play somebody video and say a little thing, I don't think YouTube is for you. Alright? That's not my style. So if that's the style you like, again, there's many other platforms you can get that. But what Mr. Knight said, I agree with him 100%. This, all of the implications scream money laundering and tax invasion. However, I'm not saying that Mr. Prime Minister is involved. I'm saying the movement of the cash, all that was explained in the report, there's a valid concern. Now, in regards to this concern, as Mr. I think Mr. Knight and Mr. Golden said, there's no company in the world where a director, a CEO is under this type of investigation and they still hold their post as CEO of that company. So as the CEO of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Onis, it is only right, it is only someone of high integrity would take the time and say, yes, you know what, this is the right thing to do. I have to remove myself from this post, clear my name, and then we can talk. That is it. That is it. Because you have to admit that you, whether innocently or purposefully, not knowing or omitting information, you, Mr. Holness, was in error in regards to putting in the information necessary. Right? You say make a short of that explanation and play it at the beginning of your videos. Or what I just explained about YouTube and Ray. Alright, let me write down the timestamp. I'm at the hour mark. May I send a message to myself. Thank you for that suggestion. Thank you for that suggestion. Make a short video and play it. Let me just play this in the meantime.
Especially in the lead up to the next general election, the call for resignation that the police president Prime Minister spoke yesterday. What do you make of those developments in relation to the upcoming election? What do you do over the show time?
Gentlemen, do you want to answer that? Sure.
Yes, as was said earlier, we do not condone any form of threats being made to anyone who practices within the space or to any individual at all. And we believe that the police should investigate the matter thoroughly, and those who they find that were associated with such threats should be brought to justice in a very timely manner. And
thank you, Mr. Dayton Campbell. Say that again for me now, please. These threats, all these threats. Leo says, bro, don't pay any attention to those complainers. They don't pay any attention to truth and knowledge. That's why they will never learn. I told you days ago, I love how you break it down for us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'm glad I have people that appreciate my breakdowns and the way I do what I do. You are the ones that I'm doing this for. Because you see, a child supposed to can listen to what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from, you know. That is the aim, you know. That is the aim. Although we are speaking to like 18-year-olds and older, you know that a child brain develops at 25 fully. So when I'm explaining what I'm explaining, I want every single person to understand. This is why when certain words come up, I go to Google and I tell you the meaning, because I don't want you to not understand what he's saying. Remember, a lot of the times politicians use certain big words, and then the whole concept of what is being said is lost to the individual that is watching it. You understand? Thank you so much, Sassy81, for confirming that as well. Right? But let's continue.
Yes, as was said earlier, we do not condone any form of threats being made to anyone who practices within the space or to any individual at all. And we believe that the police should investigate the matter thoroughly, and those who they find that were associated with such threats should be brought to justice in a very timely manner. And that's what we are limited to saying today, because we do not have any better information on what took place.
What I said about the political environment.
The matter, as we've read in the report, is to refer to the financial investigation engine. Clearly, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, but they have said that it cannot be certified until the FIB, I suppose, conducts an investigation and produces its findings from that investigation. You know that annually the Integrity Commission publishes the Prime Minister and the Opposition Leader's statutory declaration, and next month, that is in October. What would be your suggestion, if any, to the FIB in order to facilitate the process in terms of allowing the Integrity Commission to be able to, as quickly as possible, make a decision on the Prime Minister's statutory declaration? Because for about 3 years now, effective next month, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration has not been certified. So what would be your suggestion to the FIB as they approach your investigation?
First of all, I don't think it's appropriate for me to make suggestions to the FID as to how they should conduct their responsibilities, functions, and obligations. All I would say is that I think that the Parliament should cooperate in the referral of the matter to them, to the FID. In any event, I think the FID should, of its own motion, embark on the reference and look into the matter thoroughly. As has been said, the report raises significant issues that need further investigation. They touch on not only illicit enrichment, but I believe the inquiry of the FID must look at money laundering as well, and conspiracy, as Mr. Knight, King's Counsel, mentioned. But I would just say that how they go about it is up to them. I would just ask that they enter on the reference quickly and do their work thoroughly.
Yeah, but what I was suggesting is that it is not fair to have the Prime Minister hanging in the balance in the run-up to a general election. So I'm just wondering, in terms of expedition, the resources that the FIB may need, or they may need additional resources. But when I said your suggestion, what I was hinting at, we believe that the resources should be provided, whether from overseas, forensic support, whatever it is that they need to be able to conduct an investigation very quickly.
Well, our position is that the Prime Minister should resign and that the investigation should proceed. In terms of resources, yes, the FID must be adequately resourced to do the investigation. That, I think, is a basic requirement for there to be both fairness and thoroughness, and so that the outcome of the investigation can enjoy the trust and confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the direction...
I'm a female, brother. My name is Leo. It's a unisex name. We're both male and female. I understand unisex, but I don't like unisex names for that reason, you know. Because once I see Leo, I'm thinking you're a man. But blessings to you, Leo Reynolds. Blessings to your sister.
would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister...
This lady is saying something so important.
Proceed.
I have to highlight
resources, yes, the FID must be adequately resourced to do the investigation. That, I think, is a basic requirement for there to be both fairness and thoroughness, and so that the outcome of the investigation can enjoy the trust and confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves.
Conundrum. Let's look up that word. What is it? That word right there. Let's look it up. Conundrum. Conundrum. The meaning of that word. Alright? People say them a teacher, you know, on this thing, you know. And I think we all are teachers and we can teach each other. So for the people that don't know what conundrum mean and you need a refresher, here it is. Conundrum is a confusing and difficult problem. So this situation is confusing and it's a very, very difficult problem. Velma, how you doing? Says warm greetings to the family. Big up, Velma, big up. Let's play that back. Alright, so conundrum is a confusing situation.
Confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question.
Salute, Sharon, salute.
And it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the directions would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister, in fact, having regard to these fulsome allegations, have an interest in having it expedited before a general election?
That is a very good question. What would motivate the Prime Minister? Yes, me as I'm two members of the PMP, but listen, him in a trouble, him have a lot of money for waste, obviously. Anyway, that is a politically driven Sivas are so Dr. Dayton Campbell. That's a distraction. Let's focus on the Integrity Commission report. Don't worry about him as soon a PMP. Them have lawyers, them have their money, they know what them do. And they know what to actually say and what not to say. Alright? You see, a defamation lawsuit is not easily, how would I say it? It's hard to prove defamation. It's hard. Same like how the lady in the Integrity Commission said she threw out the recommendation for Andrew Holness to get charged because they can't prove saying intentionally or he did not give them information or he didn't know. You know what I say? That's defamation is kind of similar to that. It's a kind of gray area. It is hard to prove defamation. I mean, you really have to say something out of the way and continuously doing it, right, for a defamation lawsuit to be won. It's not that easy. But that to me is just a smoke screen. But what this lady just said, what is the interest Andrew Holness would have as the leader of the country to fund the FID to investigate him? This is why it's a conundrum. This is why we're in deep-ish. This is why Andrew Holness needs to resign. Because it is the public interest that this investigation is given the full cooperation of the government of Jamaica. And I will take it a step further. Why would his wife, as the Speaker of the House, if Andrew Holness was to resign, who would be put in place immediately? Is it Horace Chang? Horace Chang will be put in place. Isn't Horace Chang somebody that was allegedly under investigation overseas for the same thing that Andrew Holness is under investigation of? You see, this is a big conundrum, ladies and gentlemen. We have a entire party that we cannot really trust, in my opinion, to do the morally right thing or the thing of integrity. You understand? We have a party that did not sign the code of conduct. That's what we have right here. They're operating without signing the code of conduct, ladies and gentlemen. One of the highest documents anybody could that is in leadership could sign. They found it not important to sign. He's not credible at all. It don't look good, Ivan. This is very, very serious, you know. If you really peel back the layers and think about it, if Andrew Holness was to resign, Horace Chang is going to be the Prime Minister. After all of the things about Horace Chang and the statements that he made, do we trust Horace Chang to be in office? A general election needs to be called immediately. As soon as Andrew Holness resigns, a general election date needs to be called. Because whoever is in office don't need to stay there for a long time. I think, this is what I think. I think Andrew Holness has put, this is about the JLP now. I think Andrew Holness has put the JLP in the position that the PMP was 8 years ago. I believe the JLP should be totally dismantled. There should be no remnants of past or old players in the JLP. I don't know if the Jamaican public can ever trust anybody in the JLP anymore. Even when you see G2K moving, they are supposed to be what? They are supposed to be the young arm of the JLP. But look at the stuff that they're putting on, and look at the leader, or one of the leaders of the G2K. Wasn't there allegations against him about some SA? Yo, listen, man. This is not funny, you know. But, you know, sometimes the pressure is so much, you have to really like, yo. And Christopher Tufton is not credible either. This is the person that said that the people in the pandemic, if they want water, they should take the juke. I will never stop reminding people about that. I will never forgive Christopher Tufton for those statements. Never. I don't care how much degree him have. It said a lot about his character. And you need leaders with good character. And in my opinion, Christopher Tufton is not of good character based off those statements alone. Horace Chang is not of good character. Warmington is not of good character. In my opinion, Juliet Cuthbert is not of good character. In my opinion, the fact that she stood up there and said what she said after Mr. Andrew statements, the gall. I'm talking about baga. Well, is a baga banger and go on in a funeral party with funeral leader. And again, I'm not PMP and JLP. I'm just a concerned citizen. I'm not PMP or JLP, and I'm not UIC. Right? I am not tied to any political organization. As much as how some people in the comment section might want to say that. Big up Cherry Garden in our place. Patrick in our place. But now I see your last name, because the last name the why. You understand? Patrick W, big up. You understand? Bolo, not if Andrew Honest to reign. He is to resign right now and go on a character where him have his investment business. No. No, listen to me. Smaddy need to go prison. Or people need to go prison. The rabbit hole that this potentially has need to be open wide. You understand? We need serious people and officials of integrity to stand behind this investigation. Yeah. That's what we need. Because this is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing.
We don't know the answer to. But it illustrates
the conundrum,
the conflicts which arise because of this situation.
Which is why I've said
and to assist with
can enjoy the trust and
important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the directions would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister, in fact, having regard to these fulsome allegations, have an interest in having it expedited before a general election? That we don't know the answer to. But it illustrates
the conundrum,
the conflicts which arise because of this situation.
Which is why I've said he's put Jamaica in an untenable position, because he's the head of government, and these are agencies that fall within the public sector and are part of the state and the government. So it's really an unprecedented and very difficult situation the country's in.
Look at Andrew Honest's legacy, man. This is the man legacy, you know?
Embarrassing as well, locally and internationally.
Chairman Campbell, Nationwide News. Two questions, Mr. Bowen. The first, you suggest that the criminal investigation into the Prime Minister is incomplete. But wouldn't that criminal investigation in terms of illicit enrichment and breaches of the Integrity Commission Act and the Corruption Prevention Act be concluded on the basis that the Director of Prosecutions for the Integrity Commission says the Prime Minister has no case on those fronts to answer?
No, the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecutions is only on one aspect of it, and that was to do with some bank accounts that the Prime Minister's parents had, on which he had been added as a signatory. And she said that there wasn't a basis for saying that he knowingly failed to include them in his declaration. In order to be culpable for that, he would have to show that he deliberately did that. And she said, well, but that's really a relatively minor part of what this report is about, despite what your radio station had suggested in the run-up to the tabling. The major aspect of this is to do with the complex and seemingly irregular transactions involving the Prime Minister and his companies. And that is what needs to be properly and fulsomely investigated. And the Integrity Commission has indicated that they've taken it as far as they can go, and they're recommending that it be referred to the FID to be completed. And we support that call.
The next question is essentially a two-parter. If the Integrity Commission felt it was so necessary to refer the matter to the FID, why have they not done so to this point when they have an MOU with the FID that allows them to essentially share information and to coordinate? And then why add to that their call essentially for the Parliament to endorse it? Why not simply go ahead and make that referral?
I can't answer those questions. I think you have to direct those questions to the Integrity Commission. The report is a report by a Commission of Parliament, which is the Integrity Commission, is a Commission of Parliament. They report to Parliament. So they saw fit, I think, to call upon the Parliament to support the recommendations that they were making. But I'm not in a position to answer the first aspect as to why or whether they have or haven't. I really don't know. Yeah, they may have. We don't know.
In the report, the final recommendation from the Director of Investigation spoke to parliamentarians and public servants buying shares in public companies and of course some private companies, and concerns were raised about insider trading. And so what he said or recommended was for stronger legislation to combat that. What are your thoughts on this? What's your position on it?
Well, insider trading is an offence under the Securities Act already, and the FSC has the statutory role and responsibility over that act. But I agree that there needs to be clearer guidelines, or certainly the guidelines, if they exist, should be revisited and tested for accuracy in light of the kind of activities that leaders in the country are apparently engaged in while they're in government, so that there are clear guidelines that elected representatives, especially those in government, are required to follow. It is clear that, for example, in the case of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and the OPM, the Office of the Prime Minister, both of which obviously fall under Mr. Holness, they have such a huge swathe of the public sector that come under those two offices, that ministry and that office. And with the Prime Minister being responsible for board appointments in the plethora of public bodies that come under his portfolio responsibilities. For him as a minister, or indeed Mrs. Holness as his wife, to be involved actively in commercial activities that are regulated by those bodies or seek permits or approvals from them, creates real possibilities of conflicts of interest. So I understand why the Integrity Commission have raised that point, and I do support the call for there to be further developed rules and guidelines that can inform how, if at all, persons in these kinds of positions may or may not engage in these activities.
Just to follow up on that. The Director of Investigation, it's not the first time that he has made recommendations regarding conflict of interest matters. Previously, he made recommendations in regard to West One, the investigation that was done regarding the Prime Minister. And there was another investigation that he did where he suggested that the government should contemplate, or the Parliament contemplate, putting legislation together to deal with the question of conflict of interest. What are your thoughts on that?
I support the need for it, as I've just said. I mean, the way in which legislation is typically developed, especially legislation that's starting from scratch, or where a fresh approach is needed, is that the policy is developed within the government by the bureaucracy and the experts that are in it, and is developed in an iterative process where all relevant stakeholders are engaged. It's consultation, and then it's taken to cabinet for drafting instructions to be prepared and approved to go to the drafters for drafting. And after that, there's a lengthy process of internal review and finalization before it finally goes to cabinet for the legislation committee of cabinet to read it word for word and then send it back to cabinet for approval to be tabled. So it's when you see legislation come to Parliament, you're really looking at the tip of an iceberg of activities that have taken place to get it there. So it's really for the government to engage the processes of government on this particular issue of how to address these conflicts of interest so that the policy can be developed, and I would support that. Yeah.
Two final questions from Mr. Golding. The first is, would you...
We seriously need those policies developed, because, this is why I believe that every single Jamaican needs to be educating themselves on the role of government officials and also these policies. We have a unique opportunity accusations against the Prime Minister. Guys, please like and share the video. If we are not at 200 likes right now, something is not right. Seriously. Seriously. But we need, ladies and gentlemen, to continuously put interest. And I'm not just talking about older people. I'm talking about young people. We need to get our young people, the fresh minds, the ones that are sparking. You know what I'm saying? Their brains are just active. We need to get them involved in the political process more, so we can get better understanding. A very unique opportunity right here to educate ourselves even more of the political process, because I believe that men are men, so they're always going to look for a loophole. There's always going to be a Judas. There's always going to be some political member, right, that is trying their utmost best to cheat the system and cheat the Jamaican people, because they see access to all this money. I believe that there's always going to be that. Right? And I think it can happen on any side of the fence. JLP, PMP, UIC, does not matter. What matters is those policies that are put in place. Right? 500 subs. Share the content. Oh, you talk about likes. We want the likes to go to 500. Yeah, I think the policies that are put in place is extremely important to the development of this country and how we operate. How are you doing, Joanne? How we operate as a country. So those persons that want to try to actually grab and steal from the purse, the checks and balances that are there, right, can catch them easier and quicker. And the red flags will be raised in a more immediate fashion. But it's for us to, like I said, stay involved in the process. And we need a government that also involves us in the process. This is going to take reading, guys. This is going to take time. The persons that actually go out of their way and do the research. He said, repeat that again. Yeah, man. We need better understanding as to what is taking place. We need to start paying attention. Yeah. Delroy Henry, big up. He said, Power Friday, bless it. It's Friday already? If we're going to be masters of our destiny, we must be masters of our ideas that influence our destiny. Keep up the good work. Much appreciated. UK up. Oh, a Friday for you already. Oh, me understand. Big up. Big up to UK. I forgot. It's a Friday a while ago. Me I say, wait, Friday. I forget it's Friday somewhere, eh? Beverly Small said, but you have the youth organization. There's a youth arm for the JLP. I don't know if there's a youth arm for the PMP, but outside of the JLP and the PMP, I'm saying the regular citizens of Jamaica have to be more involved. We have to depend in case PP clock. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be on their case PP clock. There's nothing at all that they should be doing that we don't know about. There's no decisions that they should be making that we should not be informed about. There need to be the policies in place in that way. There needs to be an interactive website with the government to keep us informed about everything. No matter how much reading it take, make sure it's there. Somebody is going to read it that is interested, but you can't say it wasn't documented, is my point. See, the transparency and accountability is so important. This is why the code of conduct is so important, which the JLP did not sign. Right? This person, can somebody block that person for me, please? No, I'll do it. Because there's nothing that I've said that requires defamation. Even if you look at my titles, I'm very meticulous. Question mark. It is a question. But, you don't pay attention to that. And that is where you're going to your emotions because you're a worshipper of Andrew Holness. It is a question, ma'am, sir, whoever you are. Alright? But yeah, back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a foolish statement in the comment section. And that person seriously, hold on there. That person seriously did all of that to be deleted from the channel. You subscribe just to be deleted? Wow, that's crazy. Defamation my ass. Defamation my ass. I use allegations very well. That word is key. He said, Bolo, truth is continuous examination and facts always supersedes belief. Back in London, after being in Jamrock for 5 months, getting a lot of work done. Jamaica love. Shout out. Yeah, man.
At least agree that the commissioners of the Integrity Commission and the members and the directors should face the Oversight Committee to answer further questions.
Oh wow, Rose McIntosh said she was just browsing and found this very informative. Man, that means a lot. That means a lot. That means a lot. Hey, remember to share the live with 10 persons. If they don't catch the live, they'll catch the replay. Alright, and I'm sure they'll be happy to receive the information because you see, a lot of people covering this now, but you don't know who don't know. That's why, as a content creator, you just have to put out the content because who it needs to reach. And big up, a real big up to Miss Genesis one. A big up to Miss Akimi, a big up to Miss Yo Thoughts, a big up to Miss Genesis and Miss Collins. And these are some of the day ones on this platform. And they always told me, Bolo, do the content. Especially Miss Genesis. You never know who is watching. And once you do it, the information is there. And it will reach who it's supposed to reach. Don't watch how much people is in the chat right now. Right? Don't watch that. Because this video is going to reach somebody months from now that needed this information, that was unaware of this information a week from now, 2 weeks from now. So just do the content and put out it in the best way you know how to, and God will work out the rest, and time will work out the rest, and that's what I've been doing. So big shout out to them.
Regarding this matter, considering the report has now been tabled and essentially the gag clause has been lifted. And the second question is, would you support now, in light of what has happened over the past few months with the Integrity Commission, that said gag clause be removed from the Integrity Commission Act?
I think the issue of the so-called gag clause is obviously a live one for the media, and they have been for a long time complaining about it. It has a history as to why it's there, based on past events prior to the Integrity Commission even coming into existence. And I think there needs to be an appropriate balance struck. And the attempt was made in the provision that you find offensive, because it simply says that until the investigation is complete and the report is tabled in Parliament, it should not become a public document. It should remain a confidential document within the Integrity Commission.
Alright, let's speak on that. And big up Marky G for explaining that, what it simply says. Now, here is the conundrum we find ourselves in, Marky G, which you know, and a lot of Jamaican people know. The problem is, the Prime Minister's wife is the Speaker of the House. That is the problem. We need to have a Speaker of the House that is not tied to any one of these political parties, that don't have any biases. Who has more bias than the wife of the Prime Minister in tabling reports? You notice she did not come and table the report that was against her husband. They had some excuse, right? Okay, cool. How convenient. That's for your mind to go wherever you want to go with it. Whether you believe that or not what they put out. The fact of the matter is, it is a huge conflict of interest for the Prime Minister's wife to be the Speaker of the House. and if the PMP at the time co-signed it, you are wrong and in error to do so. And that is a charge against the PMP for doing that. They should have never co-signed her being the Speaker of the House. And we can see now, based off actions in the last few months, where these reports are concerned and the lack of tabling, or the tabling in time, the dragging of the tabling, in my opinion. Right? And again, I'm entitled to my opinion. Your opinion cannot get into lawsuit. Everybody have opinion like everybody have a ass. You understand? Everybody got an a-hole, just like an opinion. Right? My opinion does not affect nothing in the court of law. I'm a citizen, and looking on, I have a certain opinion about the Prime Minister and his dealings and the way he's moving. It is shysty in my opinion. Right? It screams lack of integrity. It screams, in my opinion, we need to look into tax evasion and money laundering. There needs to be an investigation on that. That is my opinion. Because this don't look good. This is a serious, actually a serious situation right here. No matter how JLP people want to downplay this. This is one of the biggest scandals in the history of government. This scandal right here. A sitting prime minister is under this type of investigation right now. Biggest scandal ever. Look on SSL, look on all of it. All of it is just suspicious. And no well-thinking person can't say otherwise. None. It's crazy.
On the face of it, that is inoffensive. What has become problematic, I think, is the length of time that these investigations have been taking because of the fact that they inherited a body of work as a new institution. They had to get themselves up and running institutionally as an amalgamation of other entities that were brought into one. And it's taken them a while to clear that backlog and so on. But I'm prepared to have a discussion about that issue, and I have an open mind on it. I don't want to say definitively how I feel because I think I'd like to have the benefit of that discussion before I arrive at the position. Yeah. Yes. The first part of the question to do with what they was like, am I understanding? Huh? Yeah, I believe they've convened a meeting for the 3rd of October. Of the Integrity Oversight Committee. I can tell you though that the intent behind the legislation with that committee was for it not to get into the weeds and nitty-gritty of reports that go to Parliament. That is really a matter for Parliament as a whole. The purpose of the Oversight Committee is to review the operations of the Integrity Commission, the resources that are available to them, and the need for changes in the legislation that can be so that recommendations can be made to make the Integrity Commission more robust, more efficacious, more effective. That's really what the Oversight Committee is about. It's not to have a sort of second bite at the cherry to review specific reports that have been investigated and tabled. Those are to be debated in Parliament, and Parliament is to make a decision as to what should happen based on the recommendations in those reports.
Wait. That was key a while ago. When you say about the Oversight Committee, hold on there.
At the Oversight Committee to answer further questions regarding this matter, considering the report has now been tabled and
listen to this, guys,
has been lifted. And the second question is, would you support now, in light of what has happened over the past few months with the Integrity Commission, that setback clause be removed from the Integrity Commission Act?
I think the issue of the so-called gag clause is obviously a live one for the media, and they have been for a long time complaining about it. It has a history as to why it's there, based on past events prior to the Integrity Commission even coming into existence. And I think there needs to be an appropriate balance struck. And the attempt was made in the provision that you find offensive, because it simply says that until the investigation is complete and the report is tabled in Parliament, it should not become a public document. It should remain a confidential document within the Integrity Commission. On the face of it, that is inoffensive. What has become problematic, I think, is the length of time that these investigations have been taking because of the fact that they inherited a body of work as a new institution. They had to get themselves up and running institutionally as an amalgamation of other entities that were brought into one. And it's taken them a while to clear that backlog and so on. But I'm prepared to have a discussion about that issue, and I have an open mind on it. I don't want to say definitively how I feel because I think I'd like to have the benefit of that discussion before I arrive at the position. Yeah. Yes. The first part of the question to do with what they was like, am I understanding? Huh? Yeah, I believe they've convened a meeting for the 3rd of October. of the Integrity Oversight Committee. I can tell you, though, that the intent behind the legislation with that committee was for it not to get into the weeds and nitty-gritty of reports that go to Parliament. That is really a matter for Parliament as a whole. The purpose of the Oversight Committee is to review the operations of the Integrity Commission, the resources that are available to them, and the need for changes in the legislation that can be so that recommendations can be made to make the Integrity Commission more robust, more efficacious, more effective. That's really what the Oversight Committee is about. It's not to have a sort of second bite at the cherry to review specific reports that have been investigated and tabled. Those are to be debated in Parliament, and Parliament is to make a decision as to what should happen based on the recommendations in those reports.
So the Oversight Committee is there to actually boost and strengthen the Integrity Commission is what I'm hearing now. That's beautiful. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That is very, very good to hear. That is very, very good to hear. No, seriously, like I said, the world is watching. The world is watching. And the PMP calls for number 28 to leave with some integrity. You understand? And Jonas must resign. And I stand on that. What is happening is absurd, it's ridiculous. And it makes no sense to me why people are trying to defend what is going on. And I'm sure a lot of them have not read the document. And that is what very disheartening. They did not read the document. You understand what I'm saying? They did not read the document, ladies and gentlemen. That is sad, man. That is sad. But let me share this real quick, because we're nearing the 2-hour mark. Remember this.
Fucking liar. No, listen this.
Answer is that I have asked as far and as wide. I have gotten a response from everyone, but as far as I have been told, no. People have been written to, as the Integrity Commission does almost daily. But I have not heard of anyone in my political party being written to for this matter of illicit enrichment.
And you're one of the
Hey, listen, man. This is where we have to stop. We have to remember this. Do not forget that the Prime Minister lied to the Jamaican people. Right? When documents, bro, the man was in a meeting in his office with the Integrity Commission. How the hell can you tell us that you did not know? Right? How? This is ridiculous. And people are trying to defend this. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Hey, the man's a liar, bumble in a man.
Can't deal
with up with 28 bank account.
Me can't deal with document.
And you just saying businessman, you're Prime Minister. How the fuck you do 28 bank account?
Oh Lord.
All this conversation about whether the Prime Minister should go, we should wait until the evidence is there. There's a little thing that bothers me every time we have this conversation called an adverse stress. We never wait in the real world for somebody from Reno, Trenchtown, or Tivoli. Whenever the police decide upon their investigation that you have some connection or something is not right about you, they call it adverse stress. You've never been convicted and you've never been charged, but you're treated a particular way. There is no reason why those who are above that address should have this escape route that says, let me wait until I get a charge or a conviction. For months. And I sat down and I looked at the dates.
No, listen to this. Like and
we
share.
were at that point where we said, nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30, 2022 regarding the omissions in the 2021 statutory declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. Let me make sure I write them down because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here is the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holmes, did not tell me as a voter, as an...
Point of correction, him is not a doctor. He do one look online course and China then give him one common P and one common H. And him a brag about him a PhD. He is not a fucking doctor. I must Dr. Fish.
That is
He man is not
funny,
doctor.
honey.
So look a fake PhD here they give them a run with. Tell him to go do the research again. He is not a fucking doctor. He is not a doctorate. Any doctorate you can get a China then build one game. With a common P and a common H. Nothing capital about it. So one China made doctorate he have. Him is not a doctor.
Embarrassing.
Don't make him fool.
He
you know.
needs
You know,
some
look it up.
milk.
Individual as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a double thing. Nobody know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report,
Embarrassing.
and when you want, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important because you
I'll
made me
big up
feel
yourself. I want to big up
that
yourself.
nothing
Bolo
about
V&R
it.
2.0
And if you have interviews,
Barbara,
you have emails, you have
Ran,
meetings,
big up
and a
yourself.
one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion.
On a year, she said one of the meeting held in at the Prime Minister office and the thief in fucker come out.
Embarrassing. He needs some milk.
Yeah, listen.
And said nobody no know nobody.
Man, we can
The
lie.
Integrity Commission right too. Eh? When one of the meeting keeping a theme office.
Yo, he might
But
lie.
thinking wife,
yo.
I one of the illicit 6 too. And based on how I say Harris Strong, I go check you right name, you right class.
Allegedly. Lord have mercy. Allegedly.
Based on how I say Harris Strong go big off, go boom off you right fist. I think so Harris Strong one of the illicit 6 here too.
Oh, Lord.
I honestly believe.
Allegedly. I believe still, so, you know. No defamation in there, so.
I think Juliet Owens is one too. Cause that the $800 million apartment we have. We went there
Lord have mercy. $800 million apartment, you know, yo. Where them get them money there from?
married. Children have no money, you want only wedding and fish fry. Come on, $800 million apartment. Eh? I mean, how much truck they have on road? Eh?
Allegedly.
Andrew wanna say he acts far and wide and nobody no come up under the radar and the illicit enrichment when Andrew wanna see himself under illicit enrichment probe. What a lion fucker.
Me, Dion, as a Jamaican.
Yo, listen, man. Yo, I can't deal with this dude, man. Yo,
That is funny, honey.
y'all let me know what y'all
Funny.
think about this, man. I can't
my
deal
God,
with
that
Talking
is
Mind
funny.
TV, man. Talking Mind TV is insane, bro. This dude is. Shout out to Talking Mind TV. But, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the Prime Minister, I heard, is going to the Prime Minister is saying that he's going to he's going to sue the PMP for defamation. Let's hear what Jenny has to say about it. Let's see what Jenny has to say.
Andrew, a party who made several false defamatory statements about when he came into awareness of an Integrity Commission probe concerning illicit enrichment.
So hold on, Andrew Owens is still holding to when he got the information about the illicit probe. He is still doing that when everybody apply the evidence and the report tells you, based off the report, you knew about this a certain time. And in August you said you didn't know nothing. So what kind of defamation you talk about? Eh? Oh my God, bro.
At a media conference today. So, Andrew, as a matter of fact, let me say to the JLP, because I say,
You know how much people Andrew Owens have to go sue for defamation? If that is the case, you know how much people him have to go sue for defamation? Because we are operating under the information that was given by the Integrity Commission in the report. Right? That since May of 2023, There was a meeting at your office, and then in August you're telling us that you're what? I know you're telling the people about defamation. Yo, this has got to be what you call it, a PR stunt. Ain't no way wasting money on a defamation lawsuit. Well, you know, you have a lot of money. I don't know how you get it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, if I wanna come up, I say Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. I say the golden girl, what she name again, forget fishy name. I say Chang. Then you say Abka Fit Enly come out of attack. Let me say this to you. I tell you already in one video already, I'm telling you again. On if you listen. Don't feel like saying on above if you listen. Leave this thing alone. Leave the thing alone. The thing is out in the public domain. Nobody not telling a lie on it.
Nobody.
In the integrity report.
Nobody.
Now, I mean, I know why I want to jump on the People's National Party. I mean, I still want to jump on Daniela Archer, who came on all angle with Dean Jackson Miller. Actually, she give more detail because she said she write them down. She write them down.
Bingo!
So I know the part we're burning, you know. And not too much of what Mark Golding says, and it's not too much of what KD Knight says. I think I'm upset with what Dana Scott Motley says. What Dana Scott Motley says is almost the same thing as what Daniela Archer said. So I'm listening to say whenever get Daniela Archer also a lawsuit. And I
yes.
That fact. Whenever a whole heap of people forget a lawsuit. Because boy, all the people them overseas, they really look out pound the brother. So me know you're gonna get yourself out of this. When I file all the lawsuit, then you know so you never win. You see you love put yourself in more trouble and more problems. You know so you're not gonna win. You know so you cannot win. You never take the PMP to court and beat.
Hey! If you don't know this channel, hello, listen to me. If you guys are not aware, this is Life with
funny,
Jennifer.
Honey.
Alright? Listen to me. On a need to go sub up.
Oh my god, that is funny.
Them. And if the PNP carry your court, then beat on them. And on still insist. Fair guard court.
Yeah.
On the love lose. But on the love lose, sir. I'm not gonna listen to him. I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm have it in the video before. But I'm gonna play it again. Just in case,
shit.
So that somebody can hear. I'm gonna hear what Fit Enly says. What Fit Enly. I'm gonna hear what Abka Fit Enly says.
The Prime Minister and party leader has advised his attorneys that legal action should be taken against senior members of the PNP who addressed a media conference today and defamed him concerning the question of when he came into awareness of an illicit enrichment investigation. The fact of the matter is the Prime Minister spoke the truth when he indicated to the media on August 17 last year that he was not aware of any member of the Jamaica Labour Party being written to by the Integrity Commission that they're on investigation for illicit enrichment.
From last year, you know? It was from May 2023, you know? Damn, man. Hey.
Guilty. That nigga is guilty. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
This is ridiculous, man.
I don't know how much clear. Alright. Since him said that, I'm going to hear what Daniel Archer have to say. I want to listen to what Miss Archer say again. Listen good when Miss Archer say how she outline it. And tell me if we Abka Fit Enly say, make any sense. Because listen, nobody is detailed better than she. Listen.
True.
Listen to this. At the dates. For months we were at that point where we said nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30, 2022. Regarding the omissions in the 2021 Statutory Declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August, 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. I'm going to make sure I write them down, because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here's the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned.
Bingo!
Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
Alright. So is he going to sue her as well?
Embarrassing.
Bro.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a deputy. Nobody know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing ever goes up.
That's why I don't sign the integrity, the code of conduct. That's why none of the JLP them don't sign the code of conduct. They lack all the things the code of conduct stand for. In my opinion, they don't exhibit it. That's why them don't sign it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why them don't sign it.
And if we have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office.
Come on.
So tell me.
Come on. I mean, really, bro? Really? I think this is us trying to save face. I'm going to stand strong and wrong. That's all I see him doing. Standing strong and wrong. In none of this is the Prime Minister, in my opinion, a victim. None of it. There's no indication of the Prime Minister being a victim in any of this. He is strong and wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just time. It's just time for us to move away from it. All right. I'm not going to play the entire video. You understand? Big up Jenny. I'm gonna go over there and support Jenny. The link will be in the description. We got my favorite hair specialist, Meek in the building. What's going on?
What up, baby?
Remember to like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, alright? Share the video, share the video, share the video. If the person don't even watch it now, them can watch it after. Them still get the link. So them still get the info. And there's a catalog of videos for them to tap into. You understand? So they can get a better understanding if they don't know what's going on, right? And the references to other people are in the links to the videos, so they can get an even deeper and a detailed understanding. Because like I said, there's a lot of content creators that do the heavy lifting. Mystic Sensation and the rest of them, Ratigan, they do a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of work behind the scenes, and they deserve the credit and they deserve the support. You understand? Partner Jar TV, Ataf Press, Talk Your Mind TV, they deserve the support. So we always gonna put the link in the description for you to go and patronize these entities. You understand? That we do reactions from. It no matter Anissa, anybody, right? We have to make sure so we patronize that. So may I say, and support the platform, donate. You understand? Be a part of the membership group. My Patreon coming soon, right? I promised you guys I was going to work on that. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to find out Jenny's perspective about this Andrew Honest suing the PMP for defamation. Him have a whole heap of lawsuit to find. That's all me know. Because everybody is operating under the same investigation and the same information. That you were well aware of this investigation since May 2023. Alright? Yeah. No joke. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Meek. Yes. She said yes. Alright. Might cause himself far more damage than he ever bargained for. Well, guess what? The pride comes before the fall, you know. Velma. It's when you're acting with pride. Yeah. You can't humble yourself. You cannot be wrong. You're gonna be you're going to be always right. Well, hey. This is what happens. But I want to share something else with you guys, and I'm not even going to record this. This is just some things that I found very interesting that I came across on social media, right? Check this out. This was funny.
An iPhone is not a gay.
Not a real gay without an iPhone.
What did he say?
A gay without an iPhone is not a gay.
Not a real gay without an iPhone.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
How Samsung Galaxy S24?
So those are our prices.
Now, how quickly can I get my data off the iPhone straight to the Samsung? I don't want anything to do with iPhone anymore. I'm making the jump.
Is there a reason why?
Hey! You know how long?
Funny, honey.
You know how long I was supposed to get?
Funny. Oh my god, that is funny.
You know how long I was supposed to get an iPhone? Man, I changed my mind. I'm straight, bro. I'm good.
Not particularly. I think it's time. I think it's time to go. Yeah.
A gay without an iPhone is not a gay.
Yo, that was crazy, bro. That was insane. This now is more serious. Check this out. These are Amazon staff. They lost their jobs. Amazon replaced over 100,000 human beings with robots. Can you imagine 100,000 people? 100,000 people losing their jobs? Man. Yo, I'm telling you, it's wild. Check this
Wealthy
out.
people do this one thing to build generational wealth. Check this out. First, they set up a trust. Then they appoint themselves as the trustee so they maintain complete control over the assets in the trust. Then they have the trust purchase permanent life insurance that builds cash value on all the members of the family. Then the members can borrow from the trust to do things like start businesses, go to school, buy a home, invest in real estate, or whatever their needs are. Now, the beneficiary of the policy is the trust. So when a member passes away, the trust gets fully replenished tax-free. Now, this cycle ensures that the trust is never depleted and the family's wealth continues on for generations. Wealthy people do this.
I'm gonna play that again for you so you guys can listen to it and really follow it. This is what Rockefeller and all these big families that run the world do. This is why their wealth stays within their family. Listen to this.
One thing to build generational wealth. Check this out. First, they set up a trust. Then they appoint themselves as the trustee so they maintain complete control over the assets in the trust. Then they have the trust purchase permanent life insurance that builds cash value on all the members of the family.
Hey, Meek, hit me up on Instagram. I'll send it to you.
Family. Then the members can borrow from the trust to do things like start businesses.
Oh, and guys, remember, join the WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group, guys. Alright? I can send you these things in the WhatsApp group. The number is right there in the description. Text me right now on WhatsApp and put hashtag join. And I'll add you to the WhatsApp group, alright?
Go to school, buy a home, invest in real estate, or whatever their needs are. Now, the beneficiary of the policy is the trust. So when a member passes away, the trust gets fully replenished tax-free. Now, this cycle ensures that the trust is never depleted and the family's wealth continues on for generations.
So when somebody in the family passes away, because they take out an insurance on that person, the value of the value you get from when that person passes away is gonna go directly into the trust because the insurance was taken out. So it keeps increasing the wealth. Everybody that passes away, there's more wealth increase for the next generation to come. So that family always is living wealthy because you can borrow against the trust and start your business without devaluing the trust. This is genius. And again, financial literacy is definitely an issue in the black community. But check this out now.
It's blowing my mind how these kids right here are more mature than everybody in the rap game right now. Watch this video.
What would you guys want to say to Young and Ace if you could say something to him?
Quit the violence. My mom, know your mom. Just quit the violence. Like, we don't want to get into this, and especially when we live close to your block, that's not real good.
And also, I feel like y'all need to stop all this violence talking about each other's dead relatives. Cause I know in some part of your heart you feel messed up. Just how I said I wasn't on no side. Like when I heard them talk about how Baby got on the floor and he was crawling, screaming, "Please don't shoot me." It was sad because you laughed at it like it was a joke. Death is not a joke. Death is something you don't want to play with. Cause when you die, you're gone.
See the problem.
Come on, man. Come on, man. This the youth. This is the youth talking. This is the youth talking. A child shall lead the way. Ain't that what the Bible said?
Problem is, y'all have imaginary problems with each other. A bunch of he say, she say shit led to a beef. Now somebody lost their life, bro, because your ego hurt. Please stop sending these shiesty wearing pistol toting youngers to jail. Send their ass to the Marines. They already trying to be overly tough. Y'all recruiting and drafting the wrong people. How is jail called the correctional services, but they don't correct anything?
Thank you. Excellent. I agree with the brother. I agree. Send the tough guys that's bullying people in school, send them to the military. Yeah, that's right. Let them learn some discipline.
Send their ass to the military.
Yes,
it's gonna
sir.
kill all that overly tough shit.
Yes, sir.
We need the sergeants and the Marines to talk to these youngins like they daddy should have talked to them.
Anytime you see a child go lose it and it's going south and their parents can't deal with them, I think there should be a law in place. A law where the parents and the state come to a mutual agreement that this is the best option for this child. And when that child goes through that, they need to have some, in terms of certain cases, psychiatric evaluation, and they need to have therapy. They need to have therapy. Real talk.
They just need to learn emotional discipline. But this was powerful, bro. And rappers, if y'all not taking heed to what the youth is telling y'all and working to change your lyrics and your music, I'm convinced you work for the devil, bro.
Bingo! That's facts. All the artists that are making excuses, bro, you can't convince me you don't work for the devil at this point.
Does anybody else find it really wild that people think churches do good things for a community? Don't get me wrong, I understand that there's food banks and whatnot.
Yo, I'm sorry. No shot to the churches. But listen, when you hear truth, you got to, as hard as it is for you to swallow that pill, listen to what this man is saying. We got to evaluate some things now. Let's go.
Does anybody else find it really wild that people think churches do good things for a community? Don't get me wrong, I understand that there's food banks and whatnot that some churches run. But by the numbers, there's 330,000 churches in America and less than 600,000 homeless people. That literally means that if every church in America took in 2 homeless people, we would run out of homeless people and we'd still have like 30,000 churches left. That's insane. And I've noticed that every pastor or reverend or priest I've ever met drives like a BMW or a Mercedes and lives in like a $500,000 to $1 million house, while right down the street from their $1 million house there's probably a homeless encampment with a bunch of homeless people in it. And these are the people who take in billions and billions of dollars tax-free in America so that the priest or the reverend or whatever can live in his really nice house and talk about down to his congregation about how ungodly they are. When I've read your little Bible, and there's one thing that Jesus said that I think all Christians seem to forget. It's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. Yet all these people go to church and get their sermons from a rich guy. Does anybody else...
Damn! I ain't gonna play that again. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but you gotta think about that. You gots to think about that. Alright? Real talk. Listen to this.
We'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention. prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is...
We will have to prepare for the next one? Okay. I ain't got much to say. Listen to this.
In 1985, tobacco giant R.J. Reynolds bought Nabisco Foods. Tobacco pioneer Philip Morris bought General Foods, and 3 years later, Kraft Foods, making them the largest food producer in North America, and leaving the business of food in the capable hands of the same corporations who helped addict us to tobacco. Using the same tactics they used to promote tobacco, food companies set about peddling the entire planet a diet of processed goods, loaded with chemicals and additives, masquerading as food. This new machine operates with specific targets in mind, like addicting consumers, without them knowing it. In 1985, tobacco giant R.
Man, listen. Woo! Boy, oh boy. Man, listen. I'm trying to tell you. This part right here.
We've only seen Usain Bolt run no longer than 10 minutes. If you add up actually all the time, collectively, he's not ran more than 10 minutes on our screens. But I'm telling you, this man has probably trained for more than 10 years.
100%.
To basically run less than 10 minutes to have one recognition that would change his life. For a lot of people, they're not willing to do 10-year training for a 10-minute opportunity.
You better.
They want a 10-minute training for a 10-year legacy.
Come on.
That's the generation that we have. If you want success in the long run, you need to be willing to take the long run.
Yeah, man, write that down. Write that down.
If you want success in the long run, you need to be willing to take the long run. You have to be willing to go the long way. We've only seen Usain Bolt run.
I said this a long time ago. When it came to my YouTube journey. And I said it to Mr. Keeney too. I said this publicly. I say, yo, listen, when you're trying to build a skyscraper, it's the foundation, you got to dig a little bit deeper. So you got to go down first. You got to go through some struggling pains first before you can actually start elevating. So it depends on how much you actually be putting out, right? I told her that. And that's exactly what she's saying. A lot of people don't want to hear that though. There's a pastor. I think I passed him. Damn. There's a pastor. Wait a minute. Did I pass? No, this right here.
So I just learned the fun fact today. Did you know that 98% of the trees that we have here in the United States are males? Do you know why 98% of the trees that we have here in the United States are males? So they don't bear fruit. They purposely cut down all the female trees so it does not produce fruit. This is the reason why when we go overseas or we go to other countries, we just see fruit everywhere, here, there, everywhere, and you can just walk up to a tree and just pick some fruit. Not over here, because we purposely do that so we don't have any free fruit. Did you know that? Tell me you knew that, because I learned that today. Today years old. I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but I found that to be so interesting. So, that's your fun fact.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
Yeah, something definitely ain't right. Damn, did y'all know that? Sheesh. Anyway, that's my time, man. Hey, I want to thank you guys for giving me of your time. For the ones that watch the replay, God bless you. Let me know what you think about the presentation in this video in the comment section. Guys, use timestamps. When you ask me questions and you accuse me of lying, use timestamps so I could go back and I could address it. Alright? I ain't got no problem with, yeah, you lied about that. What did I lie about? I don't know. You didn't even put the timestamp. Right? So when you're using your phone, I keep telling y'all, when you're using your phone and you're watching a replay and you put in a comment in the right corner of the comment, there is a timestamp option. When you hit the timestamp option, whatever time you are on that video, you can press that option several times and you could address several different timestamps in one comment. Put the timestamp first and say bop, 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 bop. While listening, you put another timestamp, bop, 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 and you could put one comment, or you could put multiple comments. But the timestamp option is there on your mobile phone. Please put the timestamp when you're accusing people of stuff. Okay? Damn. I just wanted to say that before I go. But the world is watching, Mr. Andrew Holness, and you should resign, effective immediately. This is a global disgrace. We are being watched by the world for crime. You see the corruption standings that we're at. They're telling the people, what they call it, the tourists, not to come here because listen, Jamaica needs to be cleaned up, right? And me personally, I don't know about y'all. Tell me what y'all think. I have no confidence in this government to do the right thing. I think they're working for the devil. I think they're working for the beast. I think they're working for the agenda of the OWO. And that agenda does not serve freedom. All right? That agenda is, in my opinion, directly linked to the Antichrist. All right? And I don't trust the Masons, the Obia, all the stuff that they're proposing is just dark. Don't you see what's going on in Jamaica? Every week there's several different major accidents that is just horrible. People are being unalived left, right, and center. Crimes are not being reported, telling us that crime is going down. I don't believe you. I don't believe y'all. I don't have no trust in a lot of these organizations. And no well-thinking Jamaican should either. Right? The world is watching, man. This is disgraceful. Resign now. Goodness gracious. Sheesh. This is ridiculous, man. Right? And all defamation lawsuits. Where? How, Sway? How? Crazy. Listen, love y'all. Appreciate all my day ones. Appreciate all my new ones. Appreciate the new ones. Make sure y'all go sub up to Bolo V&R 2.0. Bolo V&R. Bolo V&R. Sub up to Bolo V&R 2.0. You go to the links, all the links to donate, the Zelle, everything. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. This is Bolo V&R. This is the main channel right here. You know what I'm saying? Although it's dormant right now, go sub up to that. And I need to get to 1,000 subs, man. Y'all help me out. Come on now, go sub up to Bolo V&R Clips, baby. I need to make a video and tell y'all that too. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all have a good one, man. I'm gonna record that video right now and put it up. Hey, Meek, bless your heart. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see some of my day ones in the building. All right, peace and blessings, man. I'm up out of here. The word is love, guys. The word is love. The word is love.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.